So America, how's life under Joe Biden going? I'm being paid more as an Uber Eats driver than when I was an EMT. They tried reducing my pay to $8 an hour as an EMT and I fucking left ASAP. Sorts by controversial. What the fuck kinda answers would you expect from Reddit LMAO? Reddit is suffering from lack of meme material. Gotta be honest, that really depends on what kind of peacein you're asking. Damn. This thread is insane. Who needs Russia or China when you guys act like you literally want each other dead over internal politics? Or maybe that's what they wanted? What war crimes do the good guys in movies commit against the evil faction? In the Star Trek Discovery pilot, they booby-trap dead bodies, which is a war crime. Yes, maybe in the future the Geneva Convention has been updated. They actually namecheck it still existing in 1X03. But you'd expect it to change for the better. Not give the okay for the same tactics ISIS use. They also try to genocide a whole planet. But compromise to overthrowing the legitimate ruling government. In Star Wars, the Clone Wars. All of them. In the last Hunger Games. Didn't the good guys drop medical supplies, only just for half of them to be bombs to make the bad guys look bad? Whenever someone fakes a surrender. Edit. It's disturbing how many people don't know that you can't fake a surrender. Edit 2. Thanks for the awards and the karma. Give me all the internet points. Inglorious bastards. I'm pretty sure you're not allowed to scalp people? Isn't Ender's Game about tricking a child into committing genocide? What's your go-to under 5-minute meal? 2 hot dogs and a side of judgment from my fiancé. Quesadilla. Super quick and easy to make, and there's a ton of ingredients that you can add without much effort. That will make it even better. Buttered toast. Oatmeal or cereal. All I do is get a paper towel, and put 5 Oreos on it. Peanut butter sandwich. People with scars. How did you get them? Dad gave me a folding knife for Christmas. I read online that you could flick it open with one hand. So I practiced it. After my hands were greasy from eating a burger. Got glassed in the hand during a bar fight. I fell on a piece of wood and rammed it into my palm. I was playing on a swing and then my leg got stuck in barbed wire. I was born 2 months premature. I wasn't born with an esophagus, so DRS. Cut my stomach open and used parts of my colon or intestines and created a new one for me. I have a huge scar on my neck and my stomach is one big scar. Also had a stomach feeding tube for quite a bit and heart surgery at 2 days old. I fucking love science. I wouldn't have experienced life if it hadn't been for advances in medical science. Edit. Thank you everyone for your kind words and support. Means the world to me. A rare autoimmune disorder called pyoderma gangrenosum twice. Don't Google if you don't like gore. I had to have daily wound care and high doses of medical steroids. What is the most penny-pinching shit you ever did? During college I was so poor I'd take the extra toilet paper rolls from restrooms at my university. When I was working serving shifts in my mid-20s I, definitely, took home people's leftovers. I mean, yeah. You can argue it's unhygienic, or that you could get sick. But the risk-to-benefit ratio skewed highly in my favor. Especially considering how good the food was. I wouldn't take scraps. But you'd be shocked at how many people will order entire plates of food and barely touch it. I ate like a king every workday. And often had leftovers for lunch. No regrets. Never got sick. Just had to avoid the manager seeing. When I went to Disney Paris on a school trip, breakfast was included as a buffet, including bread, meats, cheeses, croissants, etc. Made myself some cheese and ham sandwiches and took them for my lunch around the park. I say school trip. I was a teacher, not a student rolling on the floor laughing. I save pencils. I like to draw, but I will pick up and save any pencil I find. Art supplies can get expensive. I will wear them down to a nub. I also save those little golf pencils. When I was taking some design courses at a community college, I found a recycle bin with reams of perfectly good paper. I like to save paper too. I'll find a use for it. As a poor college student, I may or may not have literally whipped out my pocket knife in the Ralph's produce section and cut the stem off a head of broccoli to reduce the weight contributed by parts of the plant I wasn't going to eat. When I was down on my luck, I found out that a cafeteria I often eat at usually serve their last lunch meal around 2 p.m. I would hold out my hunger because they would add extra servings to avoid leftovers. The owner eventually caught on and would serve extra for me whenever I came in. I went to a fair. They had those machines that you put a quarter in and quarters may come out after being pushed. To get people roped in, they'd hand you usually 2 or 4 quarters and talk you into playing. Well, when I realized they weren't watching me, I'd pocket them. Eventually, after lapping around the fairground where they had multiple locations doing that, I had enough money to buy a grape snow cone and a candy apple. What's the dumbest thing you were paid to do and how much were you paid? I signed up for a medical study. They did a physical and had me do an at-home sleep study to check eligibility. They paid me $150 for doing this part. They called after and asked me if I knew I had sleep apnea. I had no clue. I wasn't eligible for the rest of the study because of it. So I got paid $150 to get diagnosed with sleep apnea. I tutored for the 21-year-old daughter of a wealthy family and charged around $65 an hour. I warned in advance that I still charged for cancellations if there was less than 24 hours notice. But she would regularly arrange 6-hour sessions or longer, then cancel on the day. I told them and let them off the charge the first few times. But nothing changed, so I thought, fuck it, person shrugging. For 6 months or so, I was probably making an extra $400 on average per week just for cancellations. Edit. One time she canceled the lesson like an hour in. So I went for a walk. Impulse bought 3, admittedly discount, leather jackets, and still made a profit on that day. Rich family paid me $500 minimum a night to babysit their 8-year-old son. I was about 18, certified for child CPR, first aid, and grew up watching my nephews from a young age. I never set a price. Just told them to pay me what they thought was fair. The kid was very polite and basically a young adult. I'm not sure if he took etiquette classes or something, but his face lit up when we played pretend ninjas for the first time. He slayed 3 of them in one slash, haha. I was also there for his first skinned knee. And he took it like a champ. Just kept saying, oh man. Called fractured 7. It hurts a lot. But wound up extremely proud of it. One night they called abruptly to have me come sit. Paid me in advance. Then left $300 for pizza or whatever. You can keep the change. 2. Then took off for 3 hours. They wanted him in bed an hour after they left, but I gave him 2.5 to play DK Country. Overall, dumb. But such good money. 10 out of 10 would babysit again, haha. Male babysitters have it rough. Though. It got a lot of weird looks. My friend asked me to clean out his guinea pig cage because he couldn't be bothered that day. In payment he gave me his copy of Zoo Tycoon 2 for PC. I'm a therapist and I often respond to the sites of things like bank robberies or accidents. When you see on the news that crisis counselors are on site, that's me. Sometimes it can be intense psychological first aid. But it's often sitting around waiting for someone who wants to come talk. Sometimes I'm just there so the PR people can say that services are available. This is especially true with industrial accidents and layoffs. I get paid significantly more for these types of assignments. Sometimes as much as $70 per hour, and the clock starts when I leave my home to travel to the site. I've had multiple days spent riding my motorcycle to the site, reading a book for 8 hours and riding home and never speaking to a single person. $500 in my pocket for the day. $175 to do some kind of user study at Netflix. I show up in the lobby and then they go, "Actually, we got the data we needed from the studies earlier today. You're free to go." Quote. Still got paid.
Subscribe, my brothers.